2019, the FDA recalled over 6,000 jars of pasta sauce after discovering traces of botulism-causing bacteria lurking inside like microscopic mobsters ready to whack your nervous system. That's not just spoiled sauce, that's your literal brain on marinara fumes. And the irony? It was from a brand marketed as farm fresh and preservative-free. Translation? A rustic shortcut to the ICU. According to CDC reports, botulism toxin is among the most potent poisons known to science, with a mortality rate reaching 10% even with modern treatment. Today, we're unveiling the rogues gallery of sauces you need to exile from your pantry. 7 imposters that are sabotaging your health, while hiding behind appetizing labels and clever marketing, and the 2 sauces that might actually deserve your fork's loyalty. What's lurking in your pantry right now? The answer might disturb you more than you realize. Number 7. Alfredo sauce from a jar, or as I like to call it, liquid regret with a Parmesan twist. A 2021 analysis published in the journal Nutrients found that many commercial Alfredo sauces contain over 18 grams of saturated fat per serving, along with ridiculous levels of sodium that would make a salt lick blush. One serving often punches past 600 milligrams of sodium, nearly a third of your daily limit, tucked into a portion the size of a toddler's handful. According to the American Heart Association, this combination of saturated fat and sodium creates a perfect storm for hypertension and cardiovascular disease. The texture you love comes with a price, as many brands thicken their sauce using modified food starch and partially hydrogenated oils, the cardiovascular equivalent of velcroing bacon to your aorta. Check the ingredients panel yourself. You might be shocked at what manufacturers legally hide behind the innocent term, natural flavors. While your taste buds celebrate that creamy comfort, your body is silently processing what amounts to edible plastic. But hey, at least it says rich and creamy on the label, so you can feel fancy while slowly condensing your arteries. Shall we slide into sauce criminal number 6? Number 6, vodka sauce, the drunk uncle of the pasta world trying to hide its toxic tendencies behind a splash of sophistication. A 2023 lab analysis published in Consumer Lab revealed that several popular vodka sauces contained alarming levels of added sugar, up to 12 grams per half-cup serving, comparable to some breakfast cereals marketed to children. Alongside this sugar bomb, researchers found industrial seed oils like soybean and canola oil dominating the ingredient lists, oils which, according to a comprehensive 2020 review in the journal Nutrients, have been strongly linked to systemic inflammation and oxidative stress at the cellular level. While these jars proudly proclaim themselves as Italian-inspired or authentic recipe, their nutritional profile more closely resembles the aftermath of a college frat party. The marketing illusion continues with the word vodka, suggesting culinary elegance. But the reality is most commercial versions contain virtually no alcohol after processing, leaving you with nothing but a thick slurry of acidic tomatoes floating in refined oil sludge, cream loaded with bovine hormones, and enough sugar to qualify as dessert rather than dinner. According to the American Diabetes Association, these hidden sugar loads contribute significantly to insulin resistance over time. The next time you're contemplating pouring that jar onto your penne, just remember, you're essentially baptizing your pasta in a molten sugar lube cocktail while a marketing team somewhere celebrates another successful deception. Feeling cultured yet? Let's sober up with sauce number 5. Number 5. Pesto from a shelf-stable jar, also known as crushed basil's Frankenstein cousin. A 2022 investigation by Clean Label Project found that several store-bought pesto sauces contained measurable levels of heavy metals like arsenic and cadmium, substances you would expect in industrial waste, not smeared lovingly over fusilli. The report identified concentrations exceeding California's Proposition 65 warning levels in 4 major national brands, turning your Mediterranean dream dish into a potential toxic nightmare. While your taste buds are being seduced by that fragrant blend of basil, garlic, and nostalgia, your body might be quietly working overtime to exercise trace elements better suited to a crime scene than a condiment. According to the World Health Organization, chronic low-level exposure to cadmium specifically can lead to kidney dysfunction and decreased bone density over time. But the heavy metal concert in your pesto jar isn't the only problem lurking beneath that green facade. Many commercial brands bulk up their pesto with cheaper filler oils, like sunflower or soybean oil, instead of extra virgin olive oil, which Italian grandmothers would consider culinary blasphemy, punishable by wooden spoon. According to a 2021 study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, these oil swaps downgrade the anti-inflammatory benefits and add omega-6 overload that nudges your immune system toward civil war. The FDA doesn't require manufacturers to specify which oils contribute what percentage to the final product, allowing clever labeling that lists olive oil first, even when cheaper oils make up the majority. That emerald green color you associate with fresh basil, often artificially preserved with compounds like EDA or boosted with spirulina for visual appeal, according to food science and technology research. Green never looked so problematic. Spoiler: that nostalgic pesto picnic vibe is one lab report away from a toxic garden party harvested from soil better suited for a hazardous waste warning. Shall we visit the next saucy saboteur? Number 4. 4 cheese sauce, or as I prefer to call it, dairy's desperate cry for help. This molten blend of cream, cheese flavoring, more cheese, and finally, powdered cheese, often acts like a Trojan horse of calcium-coated doom sliding directly into your cardiovascular system. A 2020 report from the USDA Food Data Central revealed that many jarred 4 cheese sauces contain over 90 milligrams of cholesterol and 10 grams of saturated fat per serving, which is roughly the dietary equivalent of taking a grilled cheese sandwich, deep frying it in butter, then liquefying it into a heart attack in waiting. According to the American College of Cardiology, this level of saturated fat consumption correlates with a 17% increased risk of cardiovascular events when consumed regularly. The majority of commercial versions include cheese substitutes made from milk, protein concentrate, and artificial flavors, which according to a 2018 investigation by the Center for Science in the Public Interest are designed not for nutrition but for shelf stability and mouthfeel, creating what food scientists call hyper-palatable foods that override your body's natural satiety signals. While the packaging proudly displays "made with real cheese" in bold lettering, the reality is more complex and concerning. The FDA allows this claim even when real cheese represents less than 20% of the total cheese content, with the remainder being processed cheese food, cheese culture, and cheese flavoring. Multiple studies published in the Journal of Food Science confirm these processed formulations bear little nutritional resemblance to traditional cheese, lacking beneficial peptides while concentrating sodium, phosphate additives, and emulsifying agents linked to gut inflammation in clinical trials. Go ahead, bathe your rigatoni in this creamy fever dream if you must, but don't be surprised when your cardiologist's eyebrows reach unprecedented heights at your next checkup, while your LDL levels start performing interpretive dance routines through your bloodstream. Ready for number 3? Let's journey deeper into this saucy nightmare for those who still believe dairy is their loyal friend. Number 3. Tomato and basil sauce, the poster child of clean eating that's quietly moonlighting as a sodium grenade wrapped in organic packaging. According to a comprehensive 2022 analysis by the Center for Environmental Health, several prominent organic and all-natural brands contained over 800 milligrams of sodium per half-cup serving, a dose that would make your blood pressure recite Shakespearean tragedy. To put that in perspective, the American Heart Association reports that's more than half your recommended daily sodium intake in just one ladle of sauce. The deception runs deeper than salt, though. While the label proudly assures you it contains just tomatoes, basil, and love, FDA labeling regulations allow it to neglect mentioning the industrial citric acid, calcium chloride, and natural flavorings that do the dirty work of shelf preservation. According to a 2019 peer-reviewed article in Food Quality and Safety, the citric acid commonly used is derived from bacterial fermentation, often from Aspergillus niger grown on GMO corn substrates, which can trigger inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals, yet remains conveniently unlabeled as potentially allergenic. Meanwhile, that supposedly innocent basil you see pictured on the label? Research published in the Journal of Food Science confirms it's often freeze-dried to within an inch of botanical recognition, contributing virtually zero nutritional value but maximum visual deception. The verdant green flecks floating in that sea of red aren't providing antioxidants. They're providing optical trickery. When University of California food scientists analyzed 15 leading tomato basil sauces, they found the actual basil content averaged less than 1% of total ingredients by weight. You're not eating a rustic farm-to-table delight. You're essentially mainlining a flavor-engineered simulation of a tomato hug created in a stainless steel laboratory. But sure, keep telling yourself it's just vegetables while your kidneys quietly submit their resignation letter and your blood pressure climbs like it's training for Everest. Ready to meet our next sauce villain? Number 2. Meat sauce, the carnivore's comfort crutch, masquerading as Italian authenticity while more closely resembling chili's anemic cousin. According to a 2021 report from the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service, over 22,000 pounds of jarred meat pasta sauce were recalled due to contamination with plastic fragments, turning your comforting bolognese into an unexpected textural adventure of polyethylene shards. Nothing says buon appetito quite like the surprise crunch of industrial packaging in your rigatoni. The physical hazards are merely the appetizer to the nutritional nightmare that follows. Data from the USDA Food Data Central reveals that commercial meat sauces contain up to 8 grams of saturated fat per serving and more than 700 milligrams of sodium, all while their protein content barely reaches double digits, typically around 10 to 12 grams, making their hearty claims dubious at best. The University of California's Food Science Department found these sauces often contain less actual meat than their robust packaging imagery suggests. What about those ingredients you cannot pronounce? The preservatives BHA and BHT, lurking in many commercial meat sauces, were linked to serious endocrine disruption in a landmark 2016 toxicology report published by the National Institutes of Health, with researchers noting potential thyroid, reproductive, and metabolic interference at doses comparable to regular consumption patterns. The marketing language splashed across these jars, rustic, hearty home-style, and Nonna's recipe, serves as linguistic camouflage for what is essentially a sodium-rich meat smoothie seasoned with shelf-stable despair. Perhaps most disturbing was the revelation in a 2020 Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry study that found much of the ground beef listed on premium meat sauce labels was actually restructured meat product fused together with trans-glutaminase, colloquially known as meat glue in food science circles. According to FDA regulations, this practice is entirely legal and requires no special labeling. What you believe is a homemade Sunday sauce lovingly simmered by an Italian matriarch is actually closer to culinary taxidermy, meat pieces reconstituted and artificially bound together in industrial vats. Still hungry? Your digestive system and endocrine glands are frantically waving red flags, but the clever packaging continues its siren song from your pantry shelf. Number 1. Rosé sauce, the awkward love child of tomato and cream that somehow manages to bring out the worst in both parents while posing as pasta's sophisticated companion. This blushing imposter appears elegant, but conceals a sinister reality. According to a comprehensive 2021 investigation by the Environmental Working Group that analyzed 25 popular brands, rosé sauce frequently serves as a carrier for concerning preservatives, including potassium sorbate and sodium benzoate. These compounds were shown in a landmark 2019 publication in the Journal of Applied Toxicology to significantly impair mitochondrial function and trigger severe allergic reactions in sensitive individuals, effectively turning your cell's power plants into dysfunctional factories. Consumer Reports conducted an independent laboratory analysis of 10 leading brands and discovered that over half contained measurable levels of bisphenol A, commonly known as BPA, which likely leached from the jar linings during the high-temperature canning process. The FDA has acknowledged BPA as a concerning endocrine disruptor with established links to metabolic dysfunction, reproductive issues, and potential neurological effects. While the sauce whispers sweet nothings with its rosy complexion and promises of creamy tomato fusion and velvety flavor profile, its ingredient list reveals an unsettling truth: high-fructose corn syrup masquerading as natural sweeteners, dairy byproducts rather than genuine cream, and inflammatory refined vegetable oils. University of California researchers found that the typical rosé sauce contains more added sugar per serving than many breakfast cereals marketed to children. This is particularly concerning as the Journal of the American Medical Association published findings linking these types of ultra-processed foods to increased cancer risk and accelerated cellular aging. That sauce may look like it shops at Sephora and recites love sonnets by candlelight. But 1 tablespoon in, and your body is experiencing a full-blown metabolic hostage situation. Congratulations! You've just sautéed your DNA in dairy-tinted deception, all while paying a premium for the privilege. But after trudging through this grease-slicked, filler-laced, toxic parade of pretender sauces, is there any hope for your next pasta night? You're about to find out. Enter the rare unicorns of the sauce aisle, the legitimately clean contenders that deserve real estate in your pantry. First up, refrigerated fresh tomato basil sauce made with only actual tomatoes, extra virgin olive oil, fresh garlic, sea salt, and, astonishingly, real basil leaves that retain their nutritional profile. Shocking concept, I know. Brands like Rao's Homemade have consistently passed rigorous independent laboratory testing for purity and significantly lower sodium content, with Consumer Reports giving them their coveted green light for straightforward, minimally processed ingredients, free from industrial additives. According to a comprehensive 2022 review published in the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition, these refrigerated fresh sauces retain up to 40% more lycopene and polyphenol antioxidant content compared to their shelf-stable counterparts, while requiring virtually no chemical preservatives due to their cold-chain storage requirements. The American Institute for Cancer Research has highlighted lycopene specifically as a compound of interest in their nutritional recommendations for its potential protective benefits. Translation: your mitochondria those microscopic power plants fueling every cell in your body, might actually send you a thank you note rather than an eviction warning. The price point may be higher, but consider it an investment in your biological infrastructure rather than a luxury splurge. And if you crave a pesto that doesn't double as a chemistry experiment, refrigerated versions made with simple ingredients like fresh basil, extra virgin olive oil, pine nuts, real Parmesan, and garlic can actually live up to their Mediterranean marketing. According to a 2021 analysis in the Journal of Culinary Science and Technology, these cold-stored pestos not only preserve vital vitamin K and crucial antioxidant compounds, but also circumvent the rancid oil catastrophe thanks to the complete absence of low-grade industrial fillers. The lack of aggressive heat sterilization means texture and flavor remain vibrantly intact without relying on synthetic flavor enhancers or controversial EDTA preservatives. These refrigerated options might make your grocery trip feel like browsing the gourmet section with nothing but a trust fund and hopeful dreams. But their shorter shelf life is actually your health's best ally, a rare instance where food mortality signals ingredient integrity. For comparison, according to Consumer Reports testing, refrigerated pestos contain up to 80% fewer chemical additives than their shelf-stable counterparts, with significantly higher concentrations of beneficial polyphenols that support cardiovascular health. Yes, it's gloriously possible to swirl your spaghetti in sauce that doesn't come with a side order of long-term health consequences, though your wallet might temporarily protest the authenticity tax. Welcome to clean eating without the manipulation, where your tongue celebrates actual food and your kidneys get to keep their day jobs instead of working overtime processing synthetic compounds. Now, flee the aisle of disguise and deceit, armed with knowledge that might just save your cellular integrity, and perhaps consider passing that basil plant in the produce section like you mean business. So next time you twirl your fork through a glossy tangle of supermarket sauce, ask yourself, am I enjoying a culinary experience or slowly signing up for an internal chemical experiment with my organs as unwitting participants? According to research published in the Journal of Consumer Health, the average American consumes over 30 pounds of pasta sauce annually, potentially exposing themselves to dozens of questionable additives with cumulative effects rarely studied in combination. Your food choices today write the prescription for your health tomorrow. The sauce aisle isn't just a culinary decision, it's a medical one. Hit that subscribe button for more unfiltered food truth before your body has to learn these lessons the hard way.